Did you know Roblox actually has fun, amazing games to play? Probably not, since you only see trash like this. Then for any games that are actually fun and not made to take all your money, Roblox hides these amazing games from you so they can make more money off of these low quality cash grabs. But today, I've dug up some amazing games that you, my viewer, probably never played before. To start this off with a banger, Dummies vs Noobs, a co-op survival game where you play on the side of the dummies defending against the noobs. But this ain't just some vanilla survival game you see back then. No, this gets crazy. There's also a lot of types of enemies, from regular units to tanks to shielders, and the most feared and hated enemy in the game, cloakers. Yeah, like the ones you see in Payday 2. Usually, the game will function as wave-based rounds, where you'll have a mercy period to buy any tools or restock an ammo before the waves of noobs come. With 10 waves in total, you have to survive against. But if you thought that was easy, there will also be bosses in some of the rounds that will spawn, and depending on how experienced people are on the server, some bosses can send your entire team to the game over screen. You also have the option of picking from 6 kits: Assault, Recon, Scout, Engineer, Medic, and Specialist. When I first started playing the game, I tried to give every single class a shot, but a highlight I had was playing Recon, spawning you in with a sniper rifle and a teleporter kit. But unfortunately, half of my gameplay was me not realizing you could zoom in while scope.
Oh, wait. Oh, wow.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know you could zoom in. I didn't know you could zoom in. What? But overall, a pretty fun class because it's a sniper rifle. Who doesn't like that? But the moment I played the medic kit once, I knew I was absolutely hooked on this game. Mainly because the medic spawns in with a medic bow, which allows you to revive any dead teammates from any range, even across the map.
Thanks, Doc!
And while you and most people might enjoy the thrill of rushing into crowds of enemies and coming out completely unscathed, I genuinely had a blast healing and reviving teammates. Seriously, plus, I haven't even gotten into the weapon upgrade system that can really enhance your items. From giving your sniper rifle explosive bullets on headshot, to upgrading a jetpack with arrow rig, to literally let you become a main character in Attack on Titans. Weapon upgrades really help enhance your class's playstyle. Sadly, we have much more games to cover, so I can't just spend all day talking about Dummies vs Noobs. But what I can say is, as a developer and everyone who contributed, this is an amazing game. It somehow only reaches around 1,000 players and deserves much more. Next one we got, Robot 64, a 3D platformer that takes significant inspiration from most obviously Mario 64. In Robot 64, you play as Beebo, a robot whose goal from its creator, Dr. Samar, is to destroy the sun. And to destroy the sun, it was decided that you need to gather ice cream so you can launch them all into the sun. I'm not kidding, that's the entire plot of the game and I love it. Robot 64 functions where mainly you collect ice cream from each levels to unlock more levels down the line. And surprisingly, this game is still kicking even after being created all the way back in 2017 thanks to its sole developer Z Kevin, the developer of some other popular games back in the day. In my previous video, I covered Microwave Dinner, a newer 3D platformer compared to Robot 64, and understandably many of you were upset that I didn't include Robot 64, and after replaying this game for the first time in 3 years, though the movement in Microwave Dinner has its fair share of cool mechanics and abilities, Robot 64's movement feels much more smooth than the amount of grease in American food. And I can't even get started on the levels. All the levels in the game are huge and allow the player to explore around their surroundings instead of being subjugated to a linear path they need to take. Also, this little guy can do kickflips with a skateboard. How do you not want to play a game that allows you to do kickflips? That's awesome. From playing the expansive levels to talking to the characters that inhabit the game, this game is very refreshing compared to the amount of oversaturated horror, anime, obby fighting games on this platform, along with the simplistic visuals and controls that feel super nice to play with. Robot 64 is still an incredible game even with its age, which I can't recommend enough for you to play. Coming up next, Defend the Train, a multiplayer wave survival game where you team up with 9 other people to defend the train from people who want to blow it up. The development team behind this game, aka the band at Top Hat Games, might sound familiar since they were also the developers behind the game Robloxware. Back on track, Defend the Train has 3 classes, which each play their own vital roles. The Gunslinger with precise weapons, focusing on targeting individual enemies, especially long range. The Psycho with much more inaccurate weapons, a trade-off for much more firepower, especially great for closer enemies that approach the train. And most importantly, the Medic, Equipped with the healing utility also being the only class that can heal teammates in the game, and without a medic on a team, especially on later waves, don't expect to be alive for more than a minute. These three roles are vital in their own ways, and if there's a significant imbalance in classes, let's just say the train's not going to be arriving to its destination. There's also upgrade stations, similar to TF2's man vs machine feature where you spend your experience that you gain killing enemies or healing teammates to boost your stats. Or you can also use XP to upgrade the train. The Defender train is criminally underrated compared to all the other games on this list, with their own unique tracks made by so many incredibly talented people, along with a really fun art style and characters, and a soundtrack that, dare I say, can compete with Fighting, a game I covered in my last video. Overall, Defender Train is a simple yet fun and sometimes really chaotic game with a great art style, amazing maps, and a tightly knit community that is still keeping the game beating. So if you're not going to play any of the games I've mentioned so far, you need to at least give Defender Train a try. The next one is In Plain Sight. A game made back in 2019, the main premise of the game is that there are two roles, thieves and cameramen. The thieves have to steal as much things from the map chosen, while the cameramen try to zap the thieves, with the built-in death laser in the cameras. But here's a catch. The map is spawned with hundreds of fake NPCs, so just by standing still, you can hide in plain sight even if a camera is looking directly at you. And if a cameraman shoots an NPC, they are actually stunned for a few seconds, so they can't just blindly guess. Obviously, if you're moving around and the cameraman has at least 1 minute in aim labs, you're probably gonna get shot down quickly. But luckily, thieves have abilities at their disposal. The default thieves have the smoke bomb ability, covering a large area of smoke to help you reposition if you're caught up by a camera. But there is way too much unlockable thieves with their own unique abilities that would take me forever to go through. All I can say is Mr. Tentacles has one of the most stupid and dumbest abilities that I just love. You travel at the speed of light by vomiting ink, which I've actually been using ever since 2019, back when the game was first created. Another catch to balance the game is that thieves are limited by the amount of weight they can carry, so if they're carrying too much, they need to deposit their permanently borrowed objects at their nearest exits. Playing as a thief is pretty scary while trying to make sure that a camera doesn't pop up when you're trying to steal something, but also pretty fun, especially the thrill you get when you make a grand escape from a camera that was one shot away from killing you. Additionally, playing as a cameraman was incredibly fun and much less stressful, since you're the one the thieves now fear, and catching people off guard and shooting them down was a really satisfying experience. In Plain Sight, for being more than nearly 4 years old, really holds up to this day, and something I myself play time to time with friends. Go check it out. Probably one of the most requested games. Ours. By the wiki, it's an arena wave survival game, but there is so much more in this LEGO game. Ours has a very large array of characters known as hosts, each with their own diverse playstyles. To name a few, you got the Wednes, a pretty well-rounded character, but with some pretty overpowered abilities and combos if you play your cards right. Then there's Party. Do I have to say any more? The gist of this game is that you fight through waves of enemies and beat the boss, and then move on to the next level. However, there is also different difficulties. Each increase in difficulty will increase the enemy's HP and the damage you take, ranging from weeks, the easiest, to the hardest, seconds. And since it has been a long time since I've replayed this game, like any reasonable person, I played on seconds. Please do not try this. When you first play this game, you start with the Invader. To keep it simple, it's like a mosquito. Stay glued to targets to heal up by attacking, but you have no defensive options. So any wrong move, especially on harder difficulties, will get you instantly killed. So expect lots of dying and retrying when learning how to play this game. But then we come to the main event of what this game's about. Tempos. Tempos, going with the theme of time within this game, are powers that can completely change how you approach enemies. You start off with the time stop ability, freezing everything except you in place and allowing you to damage targets and duration with time stop, which goes pretty well with every single host. But that's just the surface. There's abilities that can erase time, speed up the universe, and so much more. One tempo that stood out to me was the Rush tempo, which when activated quadruples your speed but allows you to stop whenever you release the spacebar, allowing for stupidly fast attacks and abilities, which in my opinion really fits well with the Invader's playstyle, and with some other hosts too. But with the amount of hosts and tempos you're given, there is so much room for experimentation and playstyles you can create, especially taking into account the upgrades you gain when beating each level, which depending on how lucky you are, can make for some insanely fun combos. Ours is probably one of the most unique and funnest games you'll ever play in Roblox, and one of my personal favorites to play on this platform. Plus, the amount of replayability with the customization and combos you can do with the hosts, tempos, and upgrades can make every run you play unique and super addicting. Also, best of wishes to the sole developer Superrun on his future projects and endeavors, especially the planned Hours remake on Steam. Still, Hours is such a unique game that you'll probably never experience anywhere else in Roblox. Make sure to play it. But even with these 5 amazing games, there's still so many hidden gems yet to be played and appreciated. So that's where you come in. You can suggest some more games in the comments or in the Discord. Also, if you enjoyed this video of me talking about underrated games, I can bet you my heart and liver you're gonna enjoy this video I made previously. Okay, I'm tired. I think I'm gonna get some coffee.